Hi, everybody. We are at the Pace Studio in New York today with Tim Young. Tim Young, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate it very much.
Thanks so much for having us, Brad. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So we're going to hear 4 songs today, and they are all, I believe they're all out in the world, right? Are you doing anything unreleased today?
No, they're all unreleased. You can only hear them live at the moment.
I was 100% wrong about everything I just said then. So all of them are unreleased, and can you tell us what's coming up first? What are you going to do first today?
I'm going to open with a song called Lost and Found, and it's about losing yourself in New York City's clubland, which after the song I'll tell you a little bit more about, but yeah, that's the idea. Spoiler alert, I found myself after I got lost.
Nice, good.
Great. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Emotions go, emotions go, emotions go round like you only wanna fly 'cause you won't look down. You're too afraid of the ground. You never heard the song, but you know the sound of someone calling you out. How time flies when you're digging through the lost and found. Here comes another one, a live one, looking for a love gun. Before the night is done, you say goodbye to the first one, leaving with the last one. And boy, ain't it fun? Emotions go round like a Ferris wheel. You only do what you feel. Such a punk, thinking everything you see is real. Listen. You only wanna fly 'cause you won't look down. You're too afraid of the ground. You never heard the song, but you know the sound of someone calling out. How time flies when you're digging through the lost and found. It isn't hard to tell the good ones are missing out on good fun. 2 words and off they go, face first into the nighttime, looking for the right time to let their feelings go. Watch them dancing in the dark with their deepest fears. The nights turn into years, furniture in the house of the forgotten queers. Listen, you only wanna fly 'cause you won't look down. You're too afraid of the ground. You never heard the song, but you know the sound. You know the sound of someone calling out. How time flies when you're digging through the lost and found. Time flies when you're digging through the lost and found. You only wanna fly 'cause you won't look down. You're too afraid of the ground. 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 Someone's calling you out.
Thank you guys. That sounds great.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. So I was led to believe there's a story, a further story behind the process of becoming lost and then found again in New York City's club scene. Can we find out more about that?
There's always a story, Brad.
Yeah, man.
Well, I got off to a really good start when I came into the city.
Nice.
I dropped out of college to do a Broadway show at like 22.
Nice.
So launched into it like, huzzah, we're doing it. And then pretty much like a year after that, just fell flat on my face. And I was in the process of coming out. I was still in the closet during that time. Can you believe I was hiding in the closet?
On Broadway.
On Broadway, yeah.
Yeah.
I found that was like my safe place.
Right. Not the most private of places to be in a closet, that Broadway.
Right, yeah. It's not like the best beard,
Right.
being in a Broadway show. So I was in the process of trying to figure out who I am, what the hell I'm supposed to do. And so I just jumped into nightlife. I got really into clubland, and there was a lot of exploration, a lot of discovery. But maybe I stayed there a little too long for my own good.
Sure.
And before you know it, like nearly a decade goes by, and all the things you thought you would have done or would have accomplished or learned about yourself are still kind of in the ether. And it really wasn't until like maybe a year or two ago that I kind of came to my senses. I really started digging through, and there was such a wealth of experience that I'd never sorted out. And in sorting that, that's where I started to like put together the pieces of like, why did I even come to the city in the first place? Why did I want to be doing music? And found myself in the getting lost part.
That's good, man. I mean, I tend personally not to trust those who have not pushed boundaries really far to see what breaks and to see what works. And so I'm glad. I mean, maybe it's a bummer to have lost some amount of time where you're doing worthless exploration, but a lot of that exploration was worth a lot because the outcome that you found would have not have been the same without pushing those boundaries that hard. So I'm glad you had that experience, at least a certain percentage of it.
Yeah, hell no. Me too. But, no time lost, all for worth, all for good stuff.
Cool.
But, when it's time to go, pick up the phone and go.
Yeah, man. You don't want to be that guy into your 40s and still hanging on to that shit that's not working. So
if it's not working, it's not working.
Right. Well, cool, man. Welcome back. I'm glad you're found.
Thanks.
And
it feels good.
There's a lot more music, man. You're going to do 3 more today. Can you tell us what's coming up next?
Next is a song called Supernova. You'll see a pattern here. This is about a relationship. One of those ones where we met and it was instant kaboom. But just like 2 stars that meet, they typically explode on each other. And then what's left behind is a dead rock, which was how I felt. But in that process of exploding, right, you get the brightest, most glamorous event that happens in the sky. So it's that feeling of this was an explosion of light and heat, and it left me with nothing. So we're going to sing about that now.
We had lived off when I saw your face, a lonely star drifting out of space. Yeah. Fell into orbit at my lover's side, and that's how heavenly bodies collide. We tried to defy space and time. Stars burn the brightest when they die. They call it supernova. They call it supernova. I felt you try to pull away from me, so I just waited for you patiently. Yeah. You use your head, but that don't make you smart. Sometimes you gotta listen to your heart when you try to deny the way you feel. The light collapses into something real. They call it supernova.
Right. All right. Thanks, guys. Can you before we dive into it, can you introduce us to everybody?
Hell yeah. So we got Mark Stewart here on the bass. And Tiago Michelin on the drums.
All right, Tiago.
Thanks so much for coming in, guys.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. You guys sound great together. So you started off by mentioning that you dropped out of college in order to come here to New York and get into and be on Broadway. And so, can you talk about how you continue to balance your acting life with your music life? In Broadway, there clearly is an equal parts both things, music and acting inherently. But
Sure.
Can you talk about how you balance this, the Tim Young music project, with your acting commitments and yeah, that's that question. That's the question. I'm done with that question now.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty much intertwined. You know, I still go out on auditions. I still get seen for things. I do mostly a lot of singing for Broadway. You'll hear me in like Dear Evan Hansen. You hear me on the Greatest Showman soundtrack.
Congratulations, by the way, the Grammy for Dear Evan Hansen. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah. That was pretty killer.
Yeah, man.
That was an interesting like piece of mail I got. Yeah. I've been here long enough now where you stay any place long enough and you'll meet the people that, you know, who do what you do. So after 10 years now of singing in the city, a lot of my friends have become the people who make stuff. I'm one of them. Some of them have made big, fantastic things like Broadway shows and movies. So it's really great to be a part of that community and to get called in for those things. So they know me as a singer, so I come in and I sing for them. And then at the same time, writing the songs about the experiences that happen in between. And really, this is the first point in my life where I have been in tune with myself enough and comfortable with myself enough to go out and be me and sing my songs. There's a lot of comfort in playing a role or singing someone else's work. You know, you get to just kind of check in and lend your voice to them as a tool and tell what they intend to tell. But it's a lot more exposing to put yourself in the front and to sing the experiences you had and kind of just hope to God that it rings true for someone else. So there's the balance there, is being a voice for someone versus putting your own voice in the front.
Cool. Well, man, we're happy to share your voice and your experience on this platform. And yeah, man, we're very happy you're here sharing this music with us today, dude. Thanks for coming by.
You got it.
Yeah. And there's, you're talking about what some of your friends are making. Maybe we'll dive into more music and then we'll talk about some of the projects that you have in the pretty near future.
Sure.
Coming up at McKittrick and at Club Cumming as well. But can you tell us what you're going to play third today?
Yeah, so this one is close to the heart. This one is about a very special friend of mine who happened to be a bird named Rocky. And, well, I'll jump into the song. I'll kind of tell you more about the bird as we go through it.
There's an invisible wall. Haven't figured out yet how to get past it. No, I don't get this world at all. You can cover me up, but I'm still inside with nowhere to hide from the hand that tries to steal my cup. But there's another place with a friendly face, where the other guys that look like me can chase the sky and sit in a tree, not thinking about where they'd rather be. No, I
never felt the sun on my spine. Just a light that shines between the lines. All right, so about this bird. When I was 10, I wanted a dog, but we were not a dog family, so I got a bird instead. And this bird was my world, lived its life on top of my head, shoulder, made it toys out of K'NEX. And for 8 years was my best friend, and she was mine, I was hers. And then I grew up and I went to college, and you can't take a bird into your dorm room. So Rocky ended up spending the next 8 years under a sheet on a ping pong table in the basement. Now, she got attention every day, but she did not have the same level of attention that she had with me. So then fast forward, I'm home writing, and my boyfriend at the time, I asked him, I was like, I don't know what to write about. He was like, write about birds, you love birds. I have one on my jacket right now, it's a pigeon. I said, I know birds, so I decided to write from the perspective of Rocky, what Rocky might be thinking at that moment. And naturally, it was about flying away. So I wrote the song, and I wrote her thoughts and how she might feel about leaving. And I played it for my friends at the time, and they were like, you need to go get that bird now. So I called my family, and they were like, absolutely. They brought the bird out. And for one night, we had the time of our lives. I was living in a warehouse at the time, so she had all the room in the world to fly. She was old, so she couldn't really get around. She would kind of just hover and then drop back down. And then the next morning, I was like, you've never been outside or seen the sun, so it's time for that. So she sat on my shoulder, and I went out with a newspaper, and I'm sitting outside reading, and some sound spooked her. She hovers up next to me, as she always does, and we look at each other, we make eye contact, and I see this look in her eye, and then she just takes off. Straight up, over the fence, through a building, cuts to the right, like she'd been flying her whole life. And I went to run after her, but I didn't have the key to get out, and I stood up against the fence and watched her fly away. I was the one in the cage this time. And it was heartbreaking. I ran all over. What do you do to find a bird? Nothing. And watching her leave and make a decision to leave what she knew and what she was comfortable with to do something scary but natural inspired me to kind of do the same thing. And that was the beginning of like this whole like lost and found thing, to go out and to not be so afraid to find whatever's out there. It's been a long, long while since my days were spent on the innocence of a perfect friend in the eyes of a child. Now my feathers are frayed. I barely recognize my reflection's eyes as he fails but tries to count the days. But I still recall, just beyond that wall, where the other guys that look like me can chase the sky and sit in a tree, not thinking about where they'd rather be. No, I've never felt the sun on my spine, just the light that shines between the lines. doubt they'll even notice when I'm dead and gone. A messy pile is all I leave behind. But through the lines I'll fly away into the beyond. So fly away, let's fly away, high away from this cage we made. I just know we'll find the life we need outside, where the other guys that look like me can chase the sky and sit in a tree, not thinking about where they'd rather be. No, I've never felt the sun on my spine, but I thought about it all the time. Now I'm going out to get what's mine, and it lies somewhere between the lines.
All right. Thank you, Tim. So speaking of projects that are maybe scary, but the natural thing to do, can we talk more about what's happening with the Cabaret show and also what's happening with this project, with the solo Tim Young music coming up in the pretty near future? Club coming on the 20th with Mary, the Cabaret, and then on the into the new year, January 9th at the McKittrick Hotel.
Yeah.
What do people see? What do those shows look like?
So December 20th at Club Cumming, I run a cabaret show with Frankie Sharp. It's called Mary. We named her Mary. It's a big show, like 8-person cast, full band. The whole premise is that we don't tell anybody what to do. Everybody gets to come in with whatever song they want to bring for that night. And you just really get to see people in their own element. Some of the best singers and drag performers that the city has to offer, when you just let them go unleashed and give them everything that they need to do whatever show they want to do, it's magical. So this 20th, we've been on a bit of a hiatus, so we're coming back with a holiday show. So come on down, Club Cumming, 8 o'clock, and on
that's
the 20th.
The one that so is that 8? Is it rehearsed at all ahead of time, or is it people just show up and say, "This is what I'm doing today"?
No, we rehearse it ahead of time. So for this one, because it's our holiday show, there will be a holiday bend, a lot of jingle bells. People are submitting their songs. We're going to rehearse it that week, and you're going to see it fresh off the griddle.
Nice. And that's the one that Kat is involved in, right?
Kat's one of our main cast members. That night, she's going to be with the folks over at House of Yes, too. We have a lot of friends and connections there, too, so definitely check them out as well.
Nice. And then, so in addition to Mary the Cabaret, there is you've got Tim Young show coming up at the McKittrick on January 9th. What is that very similar to what you're doing here in the studio today, or is it a bigger production, or what do people see that night? Yeah.
So with that, I'm standing and I'm not playing the piano, so you get to see me wiggle, which is an experience, and that's
worth the ticket price right there.
Right. Exactly. Thank you for noticing. That's full band. I've been doing some more shows there at the McKittrick now, so the next one will be on the 9th. Full band, full 45-minute set, no cover, so just come on down. It's right after Sleep No More lets out, so you get to see everybody with their masks in that big red velvet room. Originals and some covers. It's a blast.
Cool, man. Well, thank you for bringing the music here today. We appreciate it very much. And there's a bonus song. We've got a 4th song happening right now. Can you tell us what you're going to play last?
Yeah, this last one's called Sail on Your Ocean. I wrote it in 2 parts. When I started writing it, I thought it was about being in love with someone who basically tells you they're a lot and is maybe reluctant to let you in,
because of their baggage or what's going on. And I had someone on my heart when I wrote it. So I just wanted to let them know, like, I don't care. Like, I'll sail on that ocean. And then halfway through the song, I realized that that's me, that I myself am something of an ocean. So it's kind of that give and take of, you know, you sail with me, I'll sail with you. And hopefully we're both good enough at sailing that we can get to wherever we're trying to go. Yeah. Sail on your ocean.
It feels like I've been here before. I got my toe in the water. A white line runs along the shore. I couldn't cross if I wanna. If you dare me to move, I'll step into your blue. Ooh, anchors away. No, I'm not afraid to sail on your ocean. You say the water is deep. This promise I'll keep. To sail on your ocean. I don't know what you see in me, and I don't need you to say it. As the sun sinks into the sea, yeah, I dive into your graces. I wanna do this with you. And there's room here for two. Anchors away. No, I'm not afraid to sail on your ocean. You say the water is deep. This promise I keep. To sail on your ocean. Anchors away. No, I'm not afraid to sail on your ocean. You say the water is deep. This promise I'll keep. To sail on your ocean.
And that's that, Brad.
Cool. Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Tiago. This sounded outstanding. We really appreciate you guys coming by, and we'll stay tuned. Soundsliketimmyoung.com when new music is available, when additional shows are announced. But for right now, there is Mary the Cabaret happening at Club Cumming pretty soon. That's on December 20th at Club Cumming, which I already said one time. I will not say it a third time, but I've said it twice, so just like a good amount of times. And then on January 9th at the McKittrick Hotel, you're playing Tim Young. So I would imagine these songs are being played.
Yeah, you'll hear these and a bunch of other ones.
Yeah, outstanding. Well, dude, thank you for coming. We appreciate it very much, and enjoy the holidays, man. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. See you, folks. Bye.